I think you're ass, Kyle. You are ass, really. Is he crazy?
Oh, yes, that's it.
I guess it's safe to say that Ani has finally realised just how crazy Kyle is. I mean, after all of the insane stuff that he's pulled on this trip, you've got to wonder what it was that finally pushed her over the edge. So, from breakups to plastic surgery, from potentially relationship-ending lies to Kyle being even more vile than we ever thought possible, this episode really had it all.
He has made me feel like I am nothing to him. I deserve much more than what Adriano is giving me.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that Alex does deserve so much more than a man who wants to sleep with her cousin. But before we get to that messed up story, let's start with our favourite broke sugar daddy sugar baby duo, Luke and Madeleine. So Luke and Madelein's relationship is on the mend after the rumours that she'd been sleeping naked next to another man. Now, today is Luke's final day in Colombia, and while the pair miraculously, or should I say delusionally, have decided to stay together, Madeleine is worried that Luke might not actually ever return to Colombia.
But are you sure you're going to come back?
Of course, Amor. I can't stand being away from you.
Luke's adamant he will return, and he reassures Madeleine that he loves her. He tells her, "I know I've been stressed out about all the money problems I have, but give me 1 or 2 weeks and I'll sort everything out and come back to move to Colombia for good, to be with you. We can start our lives together," he says. But despite his attempts to instill confidence in her, despite saying he'll even work at Maddie Beauty if he has to, there's a niggling feeling deep down that Madeleine just can't shake. She just doesn't believe him. She's still skeptical.
Luke say he gonna come back soon, but I know him. I don't think that is true.
Now, I've got to say, I can see where Madeleine is coming from. I do understand why she's so skeptical. Like, how the hell is he going to come back within 2 weeks when he has no money, when he's completely broke? Like, surely he needs to spend time searching for a new job, or at the very least, trying to grow his sunglasses business. And let's not forget, there are still a number of lingering issues hanging over their relationship. Not least the issue of the prenup. You see, Luke needs to know before he leaves Colombia whether or not Madeleine will agree to signing it. So what's it gonna be, Madeleine? Will you or won't you agree to the prenup?
I'm going to sign her.
Woo! Thank you.
Yay, I guess. How sweet. I mean, surely every engaged couple dreams of finishing their romantic getaway with conversations about abandonment, cheating, bankruptcy and prenups. It really is the fairy tale goodbye. Look, the thing is, these are all conversations that they've needed to have for a while. I guess it's better late than never. And Luke is thrilled that Madeleine has finally agreed to sign a prenup. It shows that she really loves me, he says. It shows that she's capable of growth. But, and it's a very, very big but, the thing is, little does he know, Madeleine's just saying it to get him off her back. She reveals privately to the camera crew that, in actual fact, if Luke ever comes back to Colombia, she has no intention of signing anything. She's just saying this so that they don't fight anymore. She's saying it to try and make sure Luke returns.
If him don't come right back to Colombia, I don't sign the prenup.
There's nothing like honesty to build the foundations of a relationship, hey? Her ability to lie, the willingness, the ease at which she says whatever's needed in order to avoid conflict and try and sweep things under the rug, really does make you question whether or not her denial that she did sleep next to a man naked, or indeed the denial that she's ever cheated on Luke, are actually true. Now, while we may never know, what we do know is while Luke packs his bags and prepares to leave Colombia, he too has a confession. You see, he may have told Madeleine that he'll only be gone for a week or two, but again, privately, alone to the camera crew, he finally admits that might not be the truth either.
Unless one of my businesses hits very soon, or I find a remote opportunity, it's going to be hard to come back.
Again with the honesty. Honestly, these guys are just as bad as each other. They really do need to start talking to one another, telling each other the truth. It's no wonder neither of them believes what the other has to say. Like, does Luke seriously think that his sunglasses business is just gonna magically pop off in the next week? I think Madeleine needs to start getting his name tag ready and a uniform for him to start working as a nail tech. I really can't decide if this is really sweet that they won't give up on each other, or probably more likely if they're both just delusional.
Is it gonna work? Right now. Am I skeptical? 100%. Damn. But we keep trying because we love each other.
Call it what you like, Luke, but I think what's really holding you there is all the time and money you've invested in this relationship. It's knowing that you might not be able to bag another 19-year-old anytime soon without the funds, the lifestyle, the money that you used to have. The money that you've invested in Madeleine. Yeah, not quite so easy to act like a sugar daddy when you're broke, is it? Either way, for now, as the two of them say an emotional goodbye, I guess only time will tell whether or not Luke actually returns in a week or two, whether or not this relationship will last. Now, over in Brazil, Shawn and Alliya are at her plastic surgery consultation, but Shawn is really struggling. He admits that while he has come to terms with Alliya now being a woman, while he's okay with the long hair and the makeup, he's not really sure if he can accept surgery.
I can wrap my head around that. But transforming herself to be more feminine permanently and through surgeries is harder for me to accept.
What's clear here is that Shawn is really struggling to embrace Alliya. It's as if he's still trying to hold on to what remains of Douglas. Like, don't get me wrong, he is being supportive as much as he can be, but he's clearly not comfortable. But therein lies the problem. Like, Shawn was the one that chose to propose to Alliya. He chose to commit his life to her. No one forced him to do that. So he has to accept her for who she is now. This isn't Douglas anymore. But it seems his worry is that this might all just be a slippery slope. Where will the plastic surgery end, he asks. Will one procedure lead to another and then another?
Maybe now you're not actually even beautiful anymore to me because you've done something that got marred. So it's a slippery slope.
And while we have certainly seen that with our own eyes before, we have certainly seen multiple cast members overdo surgery, seemingly become addicted to surgery. The truth is here that there seems to be a fundamental disagreement between the body, the aesthetic that Alliya wants and what Shawn finds attractive. That, I'd suggest, is a massive, massive issue. If Shawn's attracted to men and Alliya wants to become more feminine, at what point will his physical attraction die? And if it does, at what point does the relationship die? Will this guy, a man who seems very sexually active, willingly agree to stay in a marriage where there's no sex? Yeah, it doesn't look good. And Shawn admits he is very worried.
I also need to be the person that I need to be, and maybe some of her choices will make me have to reevaluate if we're meant to be.
Right, so that being the case, Shawn, why propose if you're not sure? Like, again, it's better late than never. It's better to reevaluate now rather than later on down the line when she's in the States on her K1 visa, or worse yet, when they're married. But he really does need to do some soul searching. Either he accepts her or he doesn't. He can't pick and choose what she's going to do with her appearance and her body. So later on that evening, while Shawn is packing packing to leave, Alliya admits that she's also very nervous. You see, she's concerned about how long the K1 visa might take to come through, and she's worried what might happen in the interim, what might happen to their relationship, given that the terms of their open relationship are still unclear.
I don't want my fiancé to sleep with his friend. My biggest fear is that Shawn will have feelings for someone else and break up the relationship with me.
It's a very fair, rational fear that she has. Don't forget, it's only recently that she found out she was in an open relationship. And as the pair say their goodbyes, Alliya is desperately trying to cling on to all the positives. But again, it remains to be seen whether or not these two will actually last.
I'm feeling so excited. I'm a beautiful woman, I have a handsome man, and I'm going to move to the US with him. It's my fairy tale.
Now, over in Italy, Alex and Adriano are still trying to pick up the pieces after his shock announcement that he wanted a threesome with Alex and her cousin. Alex tells Adriano that she just can't do this anymore. And hilariously, Adriano seems shocked by this.
I was literally joking. I don't want to have a threesome with her and her cousin. I don't even like Tiffany. She's not my type at all.
Okay, let's give you the benefit of the doubt, Adriano. Maybe you were just joking. Maybe you don't want to have a threesome with her cousin. But the problem is, you literally want to have a threesome with every other woman that exists. And that's the problem. It's not okay. It's not what Alex wants. Now, Adriano attempts to apologise by saying it was all a mistake. He just said the wrong thing at the wrong time in the wrong moment. And he says they should try and get past this. Only this time, Alex is really putting her foot down.
I want to be in a relationship. I want to get married and have kids. And I feel like I'm having to shrink myself into this little bitty box just so I can have something.
It's good to see that Alex has finally come to her senses. Sorry, but these two are so incompatible that there's no chance it will work. Like, deep down, Alex knows this. She's known it for a long time, and she admits she's been pretending to everyone. She's been pretending that she's happy so she can continue this relationship. She can continue living the Italian fairy tale. But she's known for a while now that it's just not gonna work.
So this is it.
Can anyone say they're surprised? Like, there's no hard feelings, neither is particularly bitter. In fact, Adriano actually is desperate to continue trying. He promises that he'll change. But I think we all know, in fact, he himself admits, part of that is probably down to the shock that this time it's Alex that's breaking up with him. In the past, it's always been the other way round. He's been the one in control. He's been the one to end things so that he can go off and have his threesomes. This has kind of shocked him. It shocked him that he's now really lost her. Alex has just tapped out. It's over.
I don't regret my relationship with Adriano. Despite all the stuff we had going on, we had some really fun times.
I'm not quite sure I agree. I'm not quite sure that what we saw this season classifies as fun times, but at least they are both being civil and grown up about this. Now, on that topic of being a grown up, over in Malta, Vile Kyle is meeting up with Ani to try and smooth things over after she broke up with him last night.
I'm just seeing if they smell. I mean, they're okay smelling. I don't know. I've only worn these a couple of days, these ones, so.
Seriously, what's wrong with this guy? This is a 32-year-old grown-ass man. He acts like an absolute hobo. Now, when he finally puts on his stinky days-old socks, he makes his way over to meet Ani. You see, he tells us he wants to try and end things on a nice note. He wants to end things civilly with her. But the thing is, as they sit there drinking their tea, things soon turn very sour when Kyle accuses Ani of cheating on him.
I just feel like you kind of cheated on me then because
No,
I was here. Yeah,
I'm not cheated. You're not even committing to me, Kyle.
I just feel like it hurts me because you didn't think about me, how I would feel. It hurts.
Talk about pot calling kettle black. Yeah, sorry Kyle, but why is it that you expect that courtesy if you didn't offer it to her? Now, Annie tries to convince Kyle that had everything gone well on this trip, she would have chosen him, not the other guy, not her ex. It was vile Kyle that she for some reason wanted. But Kyle isn't buying it. He just doesn't believe that Annie's being honest with him. In fact, he begins questioning her about her timeline of events, about when she last had sex with her ex. Given that you slept with him the night before I arrived, Kyle says, if you do end up being pregnant, well, it's not on me. It's not my fault. It's not because I didn't buy you the morning after pill. I will not be the father.
If you're pregnant, it's his.
Her ex did it before I had sex with her. There's a higher chance of her ex being the father if she was pregnant.
You're crazy.
Yes, Annie, Kyle is certified crazy. How are you only now realising this? I'm so glad it's all now come out. I'm delighted that she's finally leaving this psycho. Kyle has spent the whole holiday gaslighting her. So for him to now throw this into the mix is completely unhinged. It's like he's almost bitter that his super sperm aren't the ones that did the deed. He seems genuinely hurt by the fact that another man might be the hypothetical father, if indeed she is pregnant, which by the way, we haven't been told that she is. Yeah, it's all completely unhinged, and understandably, Annie accuses Kyle of being very disrespectful. You only arranged this meeting so that you could try and humiliate me, to try and cause me pain, didn't you? She says. Now, Kyle maintains that he's not being disrespectful, but he says, I feel like you were trying to pin the baby on me. I feel like you were trying to trap me, Annie, he says.
I think you're ass, Kyle. You are ass, really. Is he crazy?
Run, Annie, run as fast as you can. You have just dodged the biggest bullet in the world. Thank heavens above that you haven't had a baby with this man. He's not only an arsehole, but his logic is just completely insane. Like how he genuinely, honestly seems to think that she's been trying to pin a baby on him when, let's not forget, she's the one that wanted the morning after pill. He's the one that refused to buy it. It's absolutely wild. And it comes as absolutely no surprise that Kyle admits he's a very solitary, lonely man. The only thing that gives him purpose in life, his words, purpose in life, is donating his sperm. So while he does seem quite bitter at how things have ended, he's now choosing to see the silver lining in everything. See you later, he says. I'm off to give another donation now. Bye.
And because of that, I'm going to be able to make it to a donation, and hopefully she gets pregnant from this. That's the only silver lining with tonight.
What a truly, truly terrifying man. This is just proof, if we need it, this is proof that getting people pregnant, having as many kids as he can, is Kyle's way of trying to find happiness. It's Kyle's way of trying to fill a deep, deep, dark, emotional void.